Sup team, and chapter 6 is the freaking bunker. The shelter, sorry. Shelter. That was actually, I literally had shelter in the pseudo script. Whatever. This isn't anything new because, you know, we've thought this for, like, years now. Because chapter 6 has a 6 in it. And Gaster loves his 6's. And the creepy, spooky ambience played around the shelter is just entry 17, but slowed by 666%. Yeah, I think it's pretty commonly agreed upon by now that freaky old Gaster is just down there somewhere. He's just down there, I don't know, maybe stroking his shit, who knows. The number 6 is also just, like, devilish in nature. That's even more well known than Gaster, probably. So, with all that in mind, there's a lot of hell implications. Not just Gaster implications, but hell implications in of itself. Because every implication relating to Gaster also has to do with hell. And something that we get in chapter 4 of the game is the prophecy. They'll see the tail of hell take crawl. It's also very scary indeed. Now, hear me out with a little bit of logic, a little bit of process of elimination. I believe that the tale of hell taken crawl, that prophecy, shows that chapter 6 will take place in the shelter, and that friend will be the main antagonist. Now, to understand why, we're going to have to go over the surrounding prophecies so we can kind of see this recurring sentence structure in all of them. So, besides the ones that talk about the heroes, the roaring, Deltarune itself, and random ones like gallery or roots, not that roots is random, but whatever. We also have a bunch of prophecies that align with the main antagonists of certain chapters. We have the pointy-headed, we'll say toothpaste and then boy for chapter 1, because, you know, Lancer's the main antagonist. I mean, it's not really King, because he only shows up like once. We deal with Lancer a lot more. I'd say Lancer's probably the real main antagonist of chapter 1. And then we have the Queen's Chariot Cannot Be Stopped. Obviously, Queen Chapter 2. The Lord of Screens Cleaved Red by Blades sadly refers to Chapter 3 Tenna. And then the Flower Man Trapped in Asylum refers to Asgore, who's probably being hyped up to being like Chapter 5's main boss, which is just what I think like pretty much everyone has said by now. But yeah, side tangent about Asgore, by the way. But like, no, Patrick, Asgore does not have a shadow crystal. He is not the secret boss. Shadow crystals are clear, and Asgore has a black shard, so he'll be the main antagonist. Anyway, tangent over. Back to the main antagonist prophecies. I don't really know if there's one for chapter 4. That could be an outlier, but honestly, I think the Knight's prophecies count. Even though there's more than one of them, I still think they count. And that's mainly because of this prophecy. It says, the knight who makes with blackened knife. The way that's phrased, it's structured like the other main antagonist prophecies, so that makes me think that that counts as chapter 4's. So now we understand the idea of the main antagonist prophecies, with chapter 1 having Lancer, 2 having Queen, 3 is Tenna's, 4 is the Knight's, 5 is Asgore's. So now that we know that that structure is there in these prophecies, I have to ask the question, where the hell are chapter 6 and 7's main antagonist prophecies? Because, like, the prophecy according to Rousey is some, like, super specific, fully overarching narrative thing that'll be followed to a T. So why aren't chapter 6 and 7's antagonists mentioned here? Well, I can't lie to you, I think they both are. Yeah, oh yeah, both of them. 6 and 7. We're going over 7 too, baby. Oh yeah. Before we get into who I think 6 and 7's main antagonists are, though, we're just going to go on another little side thing, because I'm going to make sure that this time I cover all my bases. Full clarity this time, alrighty? I know that Gerson says that chapter 6 of Lord of the Hammer was, like, the last one written, that chapter 7 never was, but so that might throw a wrench. Oh, that's why 6 and 7's main antagonist prophecies aren't there. But to that I say, the Lord of the Hammer really has no effect on the prophecy. Lord of the Hammer was inspired by the prophecy. Inspired. So it's going to be close, but it's not going to dictate what really, really happens. You get what I mean? He said himself that's an interpretation. That's all you gotta know. Lord of the Hammer is an interpretation. It doesn't have to predict the prophecy. Anyway, now, with that out of the way, we now know that Chapter 6 and 7 more than likely do have main antagonist prophecies, because Lord of the Hammer doesn't really matter here to the actual prophecy. We need to study that sentence structure logic from before of all the prophecies, the main antagonist prophecies, where the main antagonist himself is mentioned first, like in the first 1 or 2 words, and then their fate is mentioned second, or what they do is mentioned second. The pointy-headed first says toothpaste then boy. The queen's chariot cannot be stopped. It's just subject. Low-key, I forget how sentences work. It's been a while. But there's subject and then the thing they do. The thing they do. With that sentence structure in mind, there is only one option, one candidate for Chapter 6's main antagonist. Jockington! Cinema. Soft. No, seriously though, I'm pretty sure that Jockington's prophecy is an outlier in the sentence structure, because, I mean, it's pretty clearly a joke. If Jockington actually turns out to be some kind of, like, main antagonist, that would be the craziest, like, tone shift to have at the end of the game. Because with how the game is shaping up, dude, I don't know if we're going to get Goofy, like, ever again, like a full chapter of Goofy, like Chapter 2-esque. I don't know that's ever going to happen again. So I don't think it's Jockington. But it's important to know that there are outliers in this sentence structure, because that lets us stretch the rules a little bit, but the rules are still important. So, with outliers in mind, I think that the Tale of Hell prophecy is for Chapter 6 if we use process of elimination. And I say this because we can pretty confidently, like, eliminate Chapter 7's main antagonist. It's pretty obvious, but it's outlined here in this prophecy. The angel banished will finally meet with its desire. Now, this prophecy follows our sentence structure to a T, and there's no doubt in my mind this one's serious. Susie has, like, she's, like, disgusted by the angel, I think, and also, like, the angel's been hyped up to be, like, at least some kind of final boss. I don't know if it would be a fake out or not, but it's going to be a final boss. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the main antagonist of Chapter 7. That's pretty widely agreed upon. We've had that knowledge since Chapter 1 that the angel will be the final boss, because of Rousey's abridged prophecy from Chapter 1, like, literally mentions banishing the angel's heaven as the end game. So, yeah, Chapter 7's the angel. Now, that doesn't mean that I know where Chapter 7 is. Low-key, I have no clue where Chapter 7 could take place. I mean, it'll be at World's Edge, but I have no clue where World's Edge is, like, in the light world. Maybe fucking Antarctica. It could be at Antarctica. Quote me on that when Chapter 7 comes out. Now that we know where all these other chapter prophecies, I guess, are, we can use process of elimination. We have 6 out of 7 possible options for main antagonist prophecies. We have Chapter 1 with Lancer, Chapter 2's with Queen, 3's with Tenna, 4's with the Knight, 5's with Asgore, and now 7's with the Angel. So that leaves Chapter 6. So, we blatantly have the main antagonist prophecies for every chapter besides 6. So I think it's pretty safe to conclude that the Tale of Hell thus connects to Chapter 6. Still don't believe me? Well, we can go even deeper, baby. And we are. There's another prophecy that does follow the same formula as the Tale of Hell. They'll hear the ring of heaven's call. Now, we've already deduced that Chapter 7 does have a more explicit main antagonist prophecy, and this one about heaven's call clearly connects to the angel, because, you know, the angel's heaven, obviously. So that means that this sentence structure, the one that the Tale of Hell prophecy uses, will probably always link to some kind of main antagonist prophecy. The heaven's call structure links to that Chapter 7 main antagonist with the angel. So, while there isn't an explicit main antagonist prophecy for 6 that we see, we now know that there has to be one, considering that the heaven one connects to the angel one. So that means using that process of elimination from earlier, and using that this sentence structure has to connect to some kind of main antagonist prophecy, we can deduce that Chapter 6's main antagonist is the freaking Tale of freaking Hell, baby! Woo! We did it. So, that's cool and all, but, like, what does that actually mean for the game, though? Like, this is presumably the only Chapter 6 prophecy that we even have in the game, and it's super vague as is. How does this prove anything? Silly Ruben72, you're a bloody stupid blood! Dirty blood! Well, to that I say that this Tale of Hell prophecy doesn't really do anything for us besides open the floodgates for a bunch of speculation, because, as we've always done, with such little information, speculation's all you can do. I'm not going to act like I came up with this one. Tale of Hell represents friend. This is pretty widely accepted, but I'll still go over it just in case someone doesn't know. Friend is undoubtedly a cat themselves, as seen in the spamton sweepstakes. I think they're like cat underscore 09 or something in their file name. And also at the beginning of chapter 3, they look like, even though they look like Andogany, they're still a cat. Notice their pointier ears, like, not on the head, because the head's the same, but the legs, like the weird leg splits, whatever, definitely have pointier ears than Andogany did. Also, friend could realistically have to do with something as sinister as, like, the literal implication of hell, since they usually show up at really, really dark moments in the game. Besides the Batat minigame. I don't know what the fuck he's doing there. Besides, like, cat petters and the fact that he's a cat at all. And then also, of course, they show up in Queen's basement, which is just inherently off-putting. And they're also literally spammed as an attack during Eram's fight, which has ties to the weird route, which is like the darkest thing in the game. And they also appear during Rousey's cutscene, where he explains Dark Worlds. And that leads to him self-deprecating, and that's pretty dark too. So overall, friend could realistically have some sinister ties with the sinister hell, or just generally just negative things. So I think that friend definitely fits the bill for being the quote tale from hell. I definitely agree with like the entire community here. So, yeah, chapter 6 of the Shelter, due to hellish implications. And those hellish implications tied to that process of elimination that we used to deduce that the Tale of Hell prophecy has to do with it. The Shelter itself has hellish implications. Tale from Hell fucking mentions hell. So, chapter 6, I do believe. And friend is probably the main antagonist because they are probably the Tale from Hell. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Theory complete. That was definitely a shorter one than last time, but that's because I wrote an actual script, kinda. I still went off script a little bit, because honestly I kind of want to keep it rambly. I want these to feel human, because I don't know everything. I don't know everything at all. But thank you for watching this, and thank you for that support on the We Were Right in 2018. That is madness, dude. 50k views as we speak. Thank y'all. It's been bonkers. It's been bloody bonkers, man. And I'm just glad that I finally made a video that I'm, like, really proud of. Doesn't mean the Isaac stuff, I've been wanting to, like, break away from Isaac being my most popular, I guess, Rube 70 genre for, like, I think 2 years now. Because, like, my most popular video, well, still is, but it won't be for long. It's this fucking 10-second, like, Isaac mod that took not even an hour to make. And it's like, why? Why does that get popular? But yeah, anyway, thank you all so much. This was just, it's awesome. Expect more Deltarune ideas in the future. I have some pretty batshit shit cooking up. That was an awesome phrase, batshit shit. Entry 17 is about the afterlife and the Roaring Night, Death's Rotting Corpse, and Rousey is fucking Jesus. He's literally Jesus. Rousey's Jesus. Oh, we're going over that someday soon. So yeah, subscribe, join the Discord, subscribe, hit that bell, rather, and join the Discord, link in description. And if you may, do the memberships, only if you want to, $2.99, editing streams, early videos, early raw footage, etc., etc. Subscribe! Ah! Sayonara!